The key to understanding Roth IRAs and even IRAs is to think differently about money. Up to now, you probably always think about money in terms of total dollars. All right, so if Herb has $1 million in his IRA, that's pretty good, right? $1 million in his IRA. And let's say Judy she doesn't have $1 million, she has $900,000, but it's not in an IRA, it's outside the IRA. Would you rather have Herb's $1 million in his IRA or Judy's $900,000 outside the IRA? Who would rather have Herb's $1 million in the IRA? All right, some people just want the most money. Who would rather have Judy's $900,000 outside the IRA? All right. Wait, somebody said both. You want both? All right. What I would say is if we're going to measure what Herb has, even though we all agree he has $1 million total in his IRA, he doesn't have $1 million of purchasing power. He can't go out and buy $1 million worth of goods and services because when he cashes his IRA in, he's going to have to pay the tax. So depending on his tax rate, he might have $700,000, he might have $800,000, but he clearly doesn't have $1 million of purchasing power. Judy, on the other hand, since it's not in an IRA, she has money outside of her IRA, then she can just go out and buy it. So that's more purchasing power. And what I'm going to try to recommend to people is that you think in terms of purchasing power, don't think in terms of total dollars, because it's purchasing power that gives us the ability to buy goods and services. Total dollars is not as important. And the bad news is for most of you, because most of you, I assume, do have IRAs, is that whatever the face value of your IRA is, that's not the purchasing power of that IRA. That's just the total dollars before you have to pay the tax. All right, so I'm going to use some smaller numbers. All right, let's assume we're going to call Herb Mr. Status Quo. Let's assume instead of having $1 million, he has $100,000 in his IRA. Okay? And let's also assume that he has $25,000 outside his IRA. And that's all he has. All right, would we all agree that he has $125,000? Okay? Not a trick question. Now, and to make it simple, let's assume a flat income tax rate of 25%. All right? So if he wants to go out and buy goods and services and he cashes his IRA in, he's going to have to pay how much in taxes? 25% on $100,000. $25,000. In this example, I conveniently, it's just an accident, I conveniently have the $25,000 to pay the tax when he cashes his IRA in from outside the IRA. All right? I'm kidding, by the way. That's not a coincidence. It's very important in this analysis. But anyway, he has the $25,000 from outside his IRA. He's going to use that money to pay the tax on cashing in the IRA. So he writes a check to the IRS for $25,000 when he cashes in his IRA, and he's left with how much? $100,000. So measured in purchasing power, he has $100,000. Would everybody agree with that? So let's say Judy says, well, Judy has the same thing. She has $100,000 in her IRA. She has $25,000 outside her IRA. But she says, hey, I want to make a Roth IRA conversion. All right? So let's say the money's in Vanguard or wherever it is, and she fills out the appropriate form, and her $100,000, and by the way, you do not have to change investments. So it's not like I'm selling Roth IRAs. The original investment is now a Roth IRA. Vanguard then sends her a 1099 that says, please add $100,000 to your income for the year that you make the conversion, in this case 2010. So Judy says, okay, I want to avoid taxes, but I don't want to evade taxes, so I'm going to pay the taxes on that $100,000. And since we're assuming a 25% income tax rate, what's going to happen is, and since I conveniently assume that she is at the same exact starting point as Herb, that she has the $25,000 from outside the IRA, she's going to use that $25,000 to pay the tax on the Roth IRA conversion. So what's she going to have at the end? She's going to have her $100,000 in her IRA, all right? She's not going to have the 25 anymore because she just paid it to the IRS, all right? Now she's going to have 100 in her Roth IRA. She has 100,000 total. Herb has $125,000 total. Now let's say Judy wants to go out and buy goods and services. How much tax does she have to pay when she cashes in her IRA? 0, exactly. All right, so I would say that Herb and Judy have the same purchasing power on day one.